Welcome to Global Buzz, where we discuss the latest global developments. In today's video, we're going to talk about the latest developments in Taiwan and the U.S.-China relations. As you may know, Taiwan held its presidential and legislative elections on January 13, 2024, and the results were a landslide victory for the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, which advocates for Taiwan's sovereignty and democracy. The DPP's candidate, Lai Ching-te, who is currently the vice president, won 57% of the vote, defeating the Kuomintang, KMT, candidate, Han Kuei-yu, who got 38%. The DPP also maintained its majority in the legislature, winning 68 out of 113 seats. The election was seen as a referendum on Taiwan's future, as the DPP and the KMT have different views on how to deal with China, which claims Taiwan as its territory and has never renounced the use of force to bring it under its control. The DPP supports maintaining the status quo of de facto independence, while the KMT favors closer ties and dialogue with Beijing. The election was also influenced by the ongoing protests in Hong Kong, which have raised concerns about China's erosion of the city's autonomy and freedoms under the one country, two systems model that Beijing has proposed for Taiwan as well. The election results were welcomed by many countries that support Taiwan's democracy and human rights, such as Japan, Australia, Canada, and the European Union. However, the most important reaction came from the United States, which is Taiwan's most powerful ally and arms supplier, despite not having formal diplomatic relations with the island since 1979. The U.S. has a policy of strategic ambiguity regarding Taiwan, meaning that it does not explicitly state whether it would defend Taiwan in case of a Chinese attack, but it also does not recognize China's sovereignty over Taiwan. The U.S. also follows the One China policy, which acknowledges that there is only one China, but does not specify which government represents it. On Saturday, President Joe Biden made a surprising statement that the U.S. does not support Taiwan independence after congratulating Lai on his election victory. Biden said, "We do not support independence. We support a peaceful resolution of the cross-strait issues that are acceptable to the people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. That's our policy. That's been our policy for a long time. Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. That's their decision. But we are going to abide by the Taiwan Relations Act, which requires us to help Taiwan defend itself, and we're going to continue to do that." Biden's comment was seen as a departure from his previous statements, which suggested a more robust commitment to Taiwan's security and sovereignty. For example, in September 2022, Biden said in a 60 Minutes interview that the U.S. would come to Taiwan's defense if China were to launch an unprovoked attack. He also said that the U.S. had a rock-solid commitment to Taiwan and that he would not let China dictate the terms of the future of the world. In October 2022, Biden authorized the sale of $2.5 billion worth of weapons to Taiwan, including 135 anti-ship missiles, 16 rocket launchers, and 6 air defense systems. In November 2022, Biden hosted a virtual summit with the leaders of Australia, India, and Japan, known as the Quad, and issued a joint statement that reaffirmed their support for the peaceful resolution of cross-strait issues and their opposition to any unilateral attempts to change the status quo. Some analysts have speculated that Biden's latest remark was a gesture to ease tensions with China, which has been ramping up its military and diplomatic pressure on Taiwan in recent months. China has repeatedly flown warplanes into Taiwan's air defense identification zone, conducted naval exercises near Taiwan's waters, and suspended official and unofficial contacts with Taiwan's government. China has also tried to isolate Taiwan internationally by poaching its diplomatic allies, blocking its participation in global organizations, and spreading disinformation and propaganda against the DPP. China has also warned the U.S. and other countries not to interfere in its internal affairs and not to send wrong signals to the Taiwan independence forces. However, Biden's comment also drew criticism from some lawmakers and experts who argued that it undermined Taiwan's democracy and sovereignty and emboldened China's aggression. They said that Biden's comment contradicted the U.S. policy of not taking a position on Taiwan status, and that it implied that the U.S. would accept a forced reunification of Taiwan and China. They also said that Biden's comment betrayed the will of the Taiwanese people, who have overwhelmingly rejected the one country, two systems model and expressed their desire to maintain their own identity and way of life. They urged Biden to clarify his stance and reaffirm his support for Taiwan's security and dignity. Lai, on the other hand, responded to Biden's comment in a calm and measured way. He said that he appreciated Biden's congratulations and his recognition of Taiwan's democracy. He also said that he respected Biden's expression of his policy and that he hoped to have more exchanges and cooperation with the U.S. based on mutual trust and respect. He reiterated that his goal was to maintain the status quo of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, and that he was willing to engage in dialogue with China on the basis of dignity and parity. He also said that he hoped that China would respect Taiwan's democratic choice and refrain from using threats or coercion. The question now is how Biden's comment will affect the future of Taiwan and the U.S.-China relations. Will it lead to a more constructive and peaceful dialogue between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, or will it trigger more hostility and confrontation? Will it strengthen or weaken the U.S.-Taiwan partnership and the U.S. role in the Indo-Pacific region? Will it influence the domestic politics and public opinion in Taiwan and China and the international community's attitude toward the cross-strait issue? These are some of the questions that we will continue to follow and explore in our channel.
For more news like this across the globe, please subscribe to our channel, like and share this video. Thank you.